Outstanding. All coming together for me now. All right, ladies, welcome. Welcome to first night of Living Aligned. This is week one of a new Journals and Jammies course, and I am so excited. We have a lot of new folks in here and some people who haven't written with me in a while. And so let's get this party started with some introductions. When we introduce with Journals and Jammies, I want to know who you are, where you live, and who you live with, including pets. That's very important to me. And so we'll just zip across the screen and start with Levy.
Hi, everyone. My name is Levy Russo. I live in Bermuda, but I'm currently in the state of Connecticut. My daughter is 6 weeks pregnant, so I came up for her first ultrasound. Couldn't see anything. She's upset. My husband lives in Bermuda, and I do a lot of back and forth, a lot of traveling back and forth. And I don't have any pets, unfortunately, but I do have a grandson who's the apple of my eye.
We're so glad you're here. Marianne.
Yeah, I'm Marianne Connecto. I'm north of Pittsburgh. I'm in Butler, Pennsylvania. I have a dog named Gracie. Whenever I was paralyzed, surgeon did a oops. And whenever I was paralyzed, I got her. Her real name is Walking God's Grace. I have a husband named Paul who just finished up with chemo and radiation. Wonderful. So we'll be traveling more. I kind of put a hiatus on what I was doing. So I'm doing a little bit here and there, like AA wise, Chicago, Chattanooga. It feels good to be back in the race of things, so to speak. But we'll be doing a couple things, just Paul and I, which will be wonderful, in our Gracie.
That's awesome. Thank you, Marianne. Betsy, it's your turn.
Hi, everyone. My name is Betsy Buring. I live in Memphis, Tennessee, and I thankfully live with no one. Um, I do not have a pet. I thought I was going to get one, but as a wise friend said to me, when you have a pet, you're tied to your house, and do you really want to be tied to your house right now? So that's on the back burner.
All
Thanks.
right.
Glad to be here.
Thank you. Tennessee's coming out strong tonight. Marie.
Hi, my name is Marie. I live in Fort Myers, Florida. That's about 2 hours west of Miami, if anybody doesn't know where that is. I live in a house with me and Peaches and my grandson. My grandsons all live within an hour of me. One is only 10 minute scooter ride. He comes and he says hello to me. And I just got back from the UK, so I'm kind of whirling, and I love to travel. Love to travel.
Peaches is the cutest bulldog ever. Miss Jane.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jane. I'm from Eastern Ontario, Canada, in a small rural town called Pembroke. I live in a house with my husband and part-time currently my 14-year-old grandson. I have a dog that's a Rottweiler baby named Tucker, 4 horses, 2 ponies, and about 200 head of bison.
Frank the Tank.
And I am
Being the
happy to
most
be here.
famous.
Yes. You can call me Buffalo Jane. My sponsor does.
Yeah. Very cool. I'm so glad you're here. Sharon, I'm so glad you made it.
Me too. And I don't like to travel. Um, I, I'm Sharon and I live with my husband and my daughter, who is 27, and Primo and Eleanor Rigby. Those are my dogs, not my children. Well, you know. And we also count Marie as Tennessee as well.
Absolutely. Melissa.
Melissa Duckworth. I'm in Memphis, Tennessee. I split my time between Memphis and Nashville. I live when we can all be together. I'm married. So I live with Jimmy the duck, and Connor and Sam are my sons. I am down to cats. I have cats only. I have 2 indoor cats, Frankie and Castor, and I have an outdoor cat named Lola.
Nice. Glad you're here tonight. Yeah. Jenny?
Jenny, I live in Oklahoma. I live with my husband Chad and my black cat Magic.
We will get to know Magic well. Magic loves journals and jammies and often tries to get on the show. Karen.
Hi, everybody. I'm Karen from Carbondale, Colorado, and I live with my husband Mike. And oh, let's see if we can just get the picture up here. Gracie, the three-legged wonder cat.
Oh,
She's
so
my little.
cute. So we have two
Thank you.
Gracies. Nice. Jessica.
Hey y'all, I'm Jessica Fellows in South Georgia, almost in Florida, about 35 miles from Florida. And I also luckily live alone. I don't know how to deal with people anymore, so and somebody said they had a Frankie, and this is Frankie. She's got white armpits, and then she's actually named after her brother Sinatra, who passed away last 24. But anyway, yeah, I get along with her better than humans. So
Glad you're here. All right. And my name is Jennifer Kelly. I live in Plano, Texas, which is just outside of Dallas. I live with Big Daddy, my almost famous dog Elroy, and four red-footed tortoises. Jay Walker, Silkworth, Hope, and Dumbletort. Guess Big Daddy got to name one of them. I bet you can guess which one. It's the one that's not in the big book. Okay, so tonight we're going to do some talking and some writing. Before we begin, because we have some new folks, I want to kind of explain how we write in journals and jammies because it's different than when you journal on your own at home. I don't want you chewing on the end of your pen or thinking a lot about what you write. We write fast and messy. The reason that we write fast and messy is so that we can outrun the mean girl in our head. Over there behind me is Dolores. She represents the mean girl in my head. She's very judgy. You can't see it, but she has a red pen in her hand. And if I write too slow, she critiques every word that I write. And so I write very quickly. I write stream of consciousness. We are not writing for publication. We're writing for spiritual and personal growth. And I don't want you to know what you're going to write as you're writing it. I want it to be a surprise for all of us. I know that you're doing it right when you start out and say, I can't read my writing. It means that you've written fast enough that you're outwriting the mean girl in your head. But the other reason that we kind of surrender that control is so that God can speak. And sometimes when we are trying to overthink it, we'll edit God right out of the experience. And what happens sometimes with journals and jammies, and my favorite thing that happens is that something will spill out on the paper that we didn't know was there. And I call that a holy shift. There's a T on the end of that. So, well, no, there's an F in the middle of it. Whatever. There's a holy shift that happens. And that's really the big payoff with journals and jammies writing. We'll talk a little bit more about that as we go along. I've got so much technology, I don't know which button to push. Okay, here we go. Oh, it works. Okay, so what does alignment mean? Our working definition is going to be the relationship between our actions, values, and purpose. When those three things are in sync, we feel it. When they're not, others feel it. As you become more aligned with the truth of who you are, the question of liking yourself goes away. It is a natural state of being. I really like that quote by Rachel Archelius. I don't know if I said that right, but you can correct me if you know. Okay. This is our warm-up prompt. I'm going to set a short timer and just go where the writing takes you. Don't overthink it and keep your pen moving the whole time until I say, finish your thoughts. On your mark, get set, let's write.
What are we writing about?
I know I'm out of alignment when. Finish your thoughts. Melissa, do you mind going first?
Sure. Sorry, my cat's really mad at me. So if you hear him in the background, he's like yelling, literally. Um, um, I know I'm out of alignment when nothing feels satisfying, when everything I engage in comes with the mean girl critique, when I think I'm no good and no one likes me, when fear of people becomes the most prevalent thing, the center point. I know I'm out of alignment when I cannot allow myself to be with myself. Instead, I stay engaged with everything except my internal or spiritual world. I ride my bike, exercise obsessively, run around performing to make others happy, work more, clean more, figure more stuff out. I won't hand over any task to others. I keep everything under my control. I become dull, lacking in creativity or novel thought. I get irritable, critiquing those around me and also myself. I'm out of alignment when I am playing God and I have no space for God. Alignment is curious because in my entire life, I cannot recall ever being aligned or even considering alignment until these past 2 years. At least, not really. I thought about stuff, but I didn't actually do anything to implement the tools to feel it. I had no boundaries in my life to even allow alignment to exist.
Thank you very much. That's some really good insight. Jenny?
I know that I'm out of alignment when I start fighting with everyone and anything. I spent a week fighting with my husband, which he really fought with me. Today I'm fighting with the people about my subscription for my mushroom coffee. I've also been fighting the urge to insert myself into posts on Facebook that are not my business or people that I know personally, but I know things and I think other people should know the things. I've also been fighting the urge to blast a crappy reporter that is wrong. I'm not the person that talks about it on Facebook. I share funny stuff, no politics, no or questionable opinions about stuff. I keep it very light and positive only. Today, after I quit sending angry emails to those people, I came to the conclusion my husband might not have been the problem. Either way, I need to get back in alignment before I make a huge mess.
Thank you, dear. Love your honesty. Karen?
Sorry, I had to unmute. I know I'm out of alignment. Whew, big one. A lot of them. I can't breathe. I snap at people. My voice goes up. I quick blame others. My face tells my emotions before my thoughts can register. I eat too much. I overthink and can't fall asleep. I lose time scrolling. I get in time binds. I forget stuff. Mike has to play the lost game with me to find things. I don't pet Gracie first thing when I come home. I fret. I scroll Facebook. I try to draw Mike into political issues. I start making snowballs in April for a July fight. I blame others. I forget to pray. I keep secrets. I get judgmental. I know I'm out of alignment when I criticize anything and anyone. When I change the vegetable stickers in the city market, I'm out of alignment from organic to non-organic the wrong way. I get indigestion. I criticize Mike. I don't smile. I coach others on the pickleball court. I offer unsolicited advice. I stop being curious. I seek attention. I forget to ask questions. I make excuses. I lie. I keep secrets. I don't see nature. I don't express thanks. And I get out of my hula hoop.
Very good. Thank you. The snowball thing was beautiful. That was a good one. I may be borrowing that soon. Jessica.
I know I'm out of alignment when my soul gets clouded with that strange mental blank spot that page 42 references in the big book. And I know this page because it's what I used to feel before a relapse. I suppose it's the blocking of the sunlight of the spirit, which feels like an accurate description because there is no lightness in my body, or very little anyway. And this manifests in lethargy, scrolling, sugar overdoses, and a near inability to do any work, spiritual work, especially writing. Damn, 100-pound phone, I can't even pick up a pen. It also usually rides with aggravation because I pretty much popped into the world with an eat shit look on my face. My family of origin had a whole dinner discussion about this last week. I can't deny it. And a deep kinship with justified resentment. I love some justified resentment. My girlfriend was just trying to ask me a few minutes ago about my day. And I'm like, look, Pollyanna, nobody ever showed interest in my days as a kid. So this is uncomfortable as hell to me. How was your day? Wow, I feel like I went into left field here, LOL. But basically, a return to this default of negativity that I can settle into like a safety net if I'm not careful. Lately, I've been snapping and yelling at the girl I choose to love. I haven't raised my voice in 9 years. That's a big reason I'm here now.
Well, I'm glad you're here. I'm not glad you're snapping at her, but I'm glad you're here. Lovey.
Okay. I'm out of alignment when I think I'm right, when I need to prove myself to you and to others. I'm out of alignment when your opinion of me is more important than my opinion of me. I'm out of alignment when I spend too much, eat too much, avoid necessary tasks, procrastinate. I'm out of alignment when I'm unbalanced in thoughts and in action without taking a break or being so busy I have no time for prayer, meditation, or introspection. I'm out of alignment when I think I have the right to tell my adult daughter how to parent her son or to tell my husband how to live his life. He's 60 years old and a fully grown adult.
Beautiful. Thank you. I know I'm out of alignment when the first thing that comes to mind is when I'm resentful, but that's an extreme. When they have power, when I'm trying to control people or situations. I'm out of alignment when I think I'm in charge, or even when I think I know what's best. What's coming into focus for me is that I'm out of alignment when I'm sitting in God's seat. One of the things Elroy and I have in common is we both like to steal the master's seat. My actions, beliefs, and purpose. So when I've lost sight of love and service and I just want people to behave, that's another of my greatest hits. When there are different rules or expectations for you than for me. Sheesh, when am I aligned? I think I needed to take a dive with this, and I'm excited to see what comes out of this month's writing. Mary Ann.
What am I? Out of alignment when I feel crazy and anxious, when I can't get up off the couch feeling self-pity or just even plain old sad. The balance is off. Is this a choice or is it a chemical imbalance? I'm not really sure. Does it really matter? I feel the closeness of Gracie right behind me. I have deep reverence for her. Out of alignment when I compare or compete or contrast with other people. Uh, uh, I'm okay and I'm loved by God just by myself, a single person with God alone in the woods on our property. When I died, I knew that magic. There was that magic floating around in my head, and I talked to Jesus. I wish I could bring that back, but the magic wore off. Would love have to be back, but space, but dot. I need to ask questions, and I can't be intimidated of my own fears to not ask questions in a bigger group. That panic did me in. I really despise PTSD. I really despise it. Yet If I embrace it, I can learn and grow from it. God could and would if he were sought. I need to seek. Now I'm thinking and drifting. That's okay. Let it go. Let it roll on, little pen. Roll on, little pen. I'm out of alignment right now. Roll on, little pen. What is all this?
Beautiful. I love your stream of consciousness stuff. That's really good. Betsy.
Hi. I know I'm out of alignment when I get quiet, seclude more than usual. I know I'm out of alignment when I spend a lot of time in my head. I know I'm out of alignment when I hide parts of myself. I know I'm out of alignment when I am not living within my values and I begin to rationalize, justify, and or deny my actions. I know I'm out of alignment when I lie by omission and when I am struggling or living in the bedevilments. This is too hard. Why did I commit to this? I don't even want to do this. I have nothing to say right. My head hurts.
Perfect. Marie.
I know I'm out of alignment when I walk in the door and my dog doesn't come to greet me. Now, that doesn't happen very often, but it happens. Well, I don't know why I'm going to say this out loud. Shit, I'm writing it. I know I'm out of alignment when I'm judging people's actions and 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 judging people's actions and possibly the clothes they wear. That happens too. I know I'm out of alignment when my sleep is not good. I have a tendency to be cranky, short, just not a pleasant person. I know I'm out of alignment when I do not do what I know what I should do, and I keep on doing it with justification. Sometimes when I'm physically sick or jet lag, which I'm going through at the moment, it's almost to the end, when my prayer life starts to falter, when I do not be conscious about it. I just do the rote things. This can send me off the beam. I can go from being in alignment. I can go from being aligned out of alignment quickly at one time. But it seems to have gotten me better. It seems to have gotten me better. Sometimes in non-alignment, to get on alignment, I'm going through a huge transition, a change in my life where I was not asked to have any permission and even asked me if it was okay what happened. I'm out of alignment for sure, but I know if I just keep doing what I'm doing, the grief and the alignment will come one day at a time. Oh, I can be out of alignment when I take a look at the chair in my bedroom and I know the clothes are piling up there. Oops, I'm done.
Thank you. Jane.
Okay, here we go. I know I'm out of alignment when my energy is chaotic and unsettled. I can't feel my body. I can't feel God. I know I'm out of alignment when I'm stepping on the toes of my fellows and loved ones and hating it. I want to stomp my feet, sleep, eat, or otherwise self-sabotage. Praying feels empty and hollow. I am directionless, adrift on a sea of sadness, upheaval, and purposelessness. Is that a word?
Sure.
So I know I'm out of alignment when self-pity is dripping down the walls and life feels hard and dull. I know I'm out of alignment when my vibration plummets. I am fear-filled and I am disconnected.
Beautiful. Thank you. Sharon.
I know I'm out of alignment when I'm hurting others and pouting when I don't get my way. When I have an agenda and when something gets in the way, you better run away. And something got in the way today. The last 2 days, I acted like an entitled little girl. It was so ugly. I had to make an amends yesterday and have another one that I haven't made yet. When I am still and can look back over my day and see a spoiled toddler, I am out of alignment. Ick. I told Chuck on the way home from Nashville today I definitely needed a realignment, and he agreed. Before we went to Nashville, my car was pulling way to the right, so I had the tires realigned before the trip. When I am pulling too far to the right, I am veering away from God. When I am in alignment, my relationship with God and with you is unified.
It's a really good observation with the tires. I like it. Thank you all for your honesty. I know that's really scary. It will never be as scary as it was the first time, promise. I don't know how I know that. I just said that. Sorry. Okay, so what is energy really? Tonight we're going to be talking about the energy part of the alignment. Energy is not just physical, it's emotional, mental, and spiritual. Energy is what we give, what we receive, and what we protect. Most of us manage everyone else's energy before our own. Depletion sneaks up quietly. The body usually knows before the mind admits it. Where does our energy go? Into obligations we chose so long ago that we forgot we had a choice. Into resentments we carry but don't address. Into pretending we're stronger than we are. Into the silent dread we feel when we're carrying too much. Into putting everyone else's needs before our own. The energy economy. Every day we make unconscious energy transactions. Some things deposit, restore, inspire, and connect. Some things withdraw, drain, exhaust, and disconnect. Most of us have never audited the account. You cannot keep overdrafting and call it strength. And the reason that I have a picture of some chocolatey, delicious looking thing there is that one of the ways that I can visualize this is that I have a full plate. I have a full life. And in order for something else to come onto the plate, something has to come off the plate. When I am delusional about how much my life will hold, how much I can physically, mentally, or emotionally carry, I'm overloading the plate. And what happens is I suffer and then those around me suffer. I don't keep it to myself. You may. I'm very impressed with anyone who can suck it up. I don't. I share. And so I have to be really mindful when I'm overloading, because what I learned was I don't necessarily pay the interest on that. Other people do. When I get overdrawn, they have to make up that deficit. And they do it thanklessly because I have a bad attitude. I'm not even grateful for the extra weight they may have to carry. Oh, well, but now I can tell you the story. This is a fake picture of Big Daddy and me and my almost famous dog Elroy. And Steve said that picture makes me look psychotic, and then he goes, "Oh, never mind." Because that's kind of the point. When I was thinking about overloading the plate, most of y'all know that I do some speaking and some traveling, not like I used to. I can't like I used to, and it's been a very slow and sort of painful revelation that I need to adjust my sails. When I first started doing this, I was 7 years sober. I was young, like I was early 30s, and blowing and going and out of town 3 and 4 weekends in a row. And I was single. I had 2 cats, so all I had to do was empty the litter box and leave out a bunch of food, and they didn't even notice I was gone. And I was doing all this stuff. And I was absolutely certain that my husband was in the next town, which was one of the many reasons I was saying yes. I mean, my ego didn't hate it, but I also was just sure I was going to meet him. I did not meet him on that road, but I did meet a guy named Cornbread that I thought really had some possibilities, because he said he was sweet and easy to make. Anyway, and during that time period, people would say to me, "Thank you for your sacrifice." And because I'm humble, I would say, "You are so welcome." But then I would think about it and I would go, "What am I sacrificing? Like doing laundry? I mean, I go here and you treat me like a princess and you pay for my food and I sleep in a hotel bed. And I mean, this is lovely. But how is this a sacrifice?" And during that time, it really wasn't, though I certainly played humble about it. Years later, I'm still doing that kind of stuff, only my life looks completely different. And I'm married and I live with my aging mother, and I'm still going 3 and 4 weekends in a row. And And people are saying, thank you for your sacrifice. And I'm saying, you are so welcome. And I did that dozens and dozens and dozens of times before I realized, again, I wasn't really making the sacrifice. My husband was doing all the laundry. He was shopping for all the groceries. He was taking care of my mother. He was working a full-time job and then doing all the extra chores on the weekends while I went out and ate nice dinners and was treated like a princess and slept in a hotel bed. And years pass. And now people will say, thank you for your sacrifice. And I say, you're welcome. And the sacrifice is different. And this time I really am making a sacrifice. I love where I live. I love who I live with. I cry almost every time I have to leave that dumb dog. It is physically hard for me to do what I really love to do. And so I come back really tired and very sore after a weekend of doing something that I adore doing. But I am more aware than ever that now I finally understand what they were talking about. Each time that they said it, I didn't recognize that I wasn't the one making the biggest sacrifice. And so I need to be really mindful because that's a part of that alignment is when I'm not paying attention because it's not making me uncomfortable, because it's not inconveniencing me. And so I think there's no problem. And that's one of the ways that I like to pay attention to alignment is, and it's one of the reasons I'm a big fan of daily inventory is that there are a lot of things that will fall through the cracks if I'm not slowing down to look at my selfishness and my dishonesty and the ways there have been quite a few days where I've just left dishes in the sink because I know my husband was a chef for a really long time and I know that drives him crazy. And so he'll do it. And I'll say, oh, just leave them. But I know him well enough to know that makes him crazy. And so he comes home from a job that he worked 13 hours and he does the dishes and it's not fair. But I don't pay attention to that unless I'm taking that daily inventory, unless I'm slowing down enough to kind of see that those principles I claim to live by are slipping. This is the next writing exercise. When I'm running on empty, I ... On your mark, get set, let's write. Finish your thoughts. Okay. Let's start with Jenny. You knew I was going to say you, didn't you?
You say me?
Uh-huh.
Okay. When I'm running on empty, I'm grumpy, bossy, whiny, mouthy, extra defiant, ready to fight. I'm just waiting for someone to say something. Probably exactly how I'm acting now. We have just been so busy. Our life is so full and blessed, but sometimes it's just exhausting. Even work has been busy. Surprisingly, that's the only place I've been good. I do kind of feel like I'm in robot mode with my program. Like I'm doing the prayers, I'm doing the meetings, I'm working with sponsees, I'm working with my sponsor. I'm not doing regular inventories though, just when it gets really hairy out there. I'm not sure I'm growing. I'm not even sure what that would look like right now. Probably daily inventory. Yuck.
You started out with like these really cool dwarf names. It was awesome. Karen.
When I'm running on empty, this was a harder assignment for me because it's a pretty foreign concept, Energizer Bunny. But I attempt more control by arm wrestling life into obedience. I nap. I binge watch Say Yes to the Dress. I've learned to not drink coffee or caffeine products. Um, I wrote I meditate and then I crossed out and said that's a lie. I just wanted to look good. I cuddle in my blankets. I create lists for when my battery does recharge because I'm terrified to forget stuff. I forget to breathe deeply or pray, and I swear. I swore at the gate agent at Dallas Fort Worth last week, and I didn't like that in me. And the final thought I had was when I'm running on empty, I try to tie a knot and remember to hang on.
Nice. Jessica.
Sorry, I was not expecting this. When I'm running on empty, I don't want to share this in a room full of wives and mothers and nurturers and caretakers, but I'm the youngest and have a sister who's 7 years older. So I was raised like an only child for a while. So I guess I'll just admit that I have baby syndrome and that when I'm running on empty, I nap. I stop and I take care of me. Maybe because I'm a brat. Maybe because I have an amazing sponsor who taught me the importance of self-love and self-care. Because my higher power is me in the form of my higher self, intuition, whatever you want to call it. Maybe I stop because everyone is in danger of my shitty self-centered attitude if I don't get good rest or a shower. Saying so because I had to make amends about a tantrum a few days ago because I couldn't get a shower. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of my classroom. I am a high school English teacher for anybody who doesn't know. I'm trying to think of my classroom, but I think it's the same. I may push a little harder because I have a hard time foregoing damn perfectionism, but I always make sure to tell my kids that I am not okay and everyone is in danger. I freaking love teenagers because, as egocentric as they are, we are the same. They will almost always show empathy and walk carefully and make me laugh. And I wasn't finished, but that's all I got.
That's so funny. When I got sober, I was teaching 4-year-olds, and we were all on the same level. Like we were all learning how not to be bossy and bite and hit each other with blocks
Yeah,
at
biting.
exactly the same time. Lovey?
Okay, this is hard, guys. All right. Um, I have a spiritual gas station. Sounds crazy or far-fetched, but it exists. The problem is sometimes I've drifted or moved so far away from the fuel that I'm depleted. Unlike a solar battery or a simple AA battery that I can change or plug into, I have to take action and find my way back to God. Of course, it's all metaphorical and woo-woo, but spiritual emptiness is disruptive and assertively antagonistic. I forget how to treat my husband, the absolute love of my life. I forget how to be a friend to my friends or a mom to my kids. When I'm running on when I'm running on empty, I avoid the hard work and nestle into comfort rather than character. Every time I get on, every time I get on a plane, I hear in case of a change in cabin pressure, oxygen mask will automatically drop down. Secure your mask first before assisting anyone else. Oxygen will flow freely. In order to be helpful and useful to God's kids, I need to fill up. That's as far as I got.
You do really well at this. I'm so glad you're here. You're doing beautifully. Um, Well, it depends on what's empty. My bank account, I take from Peter to pay Paul. I shift and juggle and justify. When I'm physically empty, I turn to pacifiers, Red Bulls and candy, my world famous all carb diet, reverse keto, if you will. I shop or gamble. I start some obsessive project, ignoring the stacks and piles surrounding me. When I'm spiritually empty, I operate on autopilot, maybe checking a box with a prayer I can recite in my sleep. As I close my eyes and call it meditation, I decide my inventory really doesn't have anything significant enough to write down. I sleepwalk past beauty and blessings. I forget how to laugh. I decide it's a little okay to argue with someone in the comments of a Facebook post. Spiritually empty is really echoing for me, that hollow feeling in my chest. Oh, how I miss the electric charge of true connection. Marianne.
When I'm running on empty, I become tired. I can blame others for my irritability. It's all it's all from being overwhelmed and full of commitments. I realize some of my writing's hard to read. I'm left-handed. Listen to me justifying. I realize I realize I can't do what I did. I miss it so much. That was my entire life, my fulfillment. And now I question, was it my ego? Empty is an emotional drainage. It leads to spiritual drainage and mental discontentment. The bedevilments come back. Aha. Never looked at it this way before, and it's all drains me. Oh, how I miss the conferences, the speaking, the people. It's the people. I get energy from all the other people. It keeps me alive. And now I can't do that. Spiritually empty when I burn the candle at both ends and try to fix it with shopping. Clothes, clothes, and more clothes. I don't wear a suit anymore. I'm retired. Well, the kids drain me. Great grandkids, that is. They drain me to zero, but that's physical. And there is a balance there because I get fulfilled with love.
Thank you, Marianne.
That's all I have.
That's really good stuff. Thank you for your insight. Betsy?
When I'm running on empty, I become irritable. Everything and everyone around me annoys me. I become judgmental. I speak with a harsher than normal tone. All I want to do is take to the bed. I don't eat. I physically can't eat. The thought of eating makes me nauseous. When I'm running on empty, I have no bandwidth for much of anything. I have very little interest in doing the things that I enjoy doing. I I start 15 shows on streaming and I can't commit to any of them because they don't grab my attention. I don't even enjoy reading, and I've been reading ever since I learned how to read. When I'm running on empty, I am not of maximum service to others. I evade or avoid any commitments asked of me. I do the bare minimum to get by. I rarely say yes and am very quick to say no. Miraculously, though, when I'm running on empty, that's when I turn to God and I rely on God more and more. My conversations and prayers with God are more genuine. I'm even starting to ask God for help.
Thank you. Marie?
Yes, when I'm running on empty, I can be so self-absorbed, not looking at others' best interests, not even mine or yours. I am on empty. I can't see. I am so inside of me, I can't see you. I forget to do what's good for me and for you. My life is different now living alone, but I just ran on empty. I just got to my empties, so I left the UK 4 days early because I was running on empty. People were disappointed. I know I have an excuse because of grief, but I did this. Dave would be home doing his business while I was busy being Miss AA of the world. I was carrying a message, but carrying a mess at home. Poor Dave would work all night long because he takes international calls, and I would walk through the door and he would be angry. I'm like, what the hell's your problem? I get so selfish, I cannot see. I take the role. Don't you see what I'm doing? I love, I look back and it's kind of hard to see the truth of it all. When I'm running on empty in a car, for example, Marie, you go by 3 gas stations. I didn't care. I didn't stop. I just kept thinking I had more gas than I want. When I do that, I put myself in a place of danger, resentment, anger, fear, which can affect the highway stoppage or perhaps myself if I run on empty, which is selfish, self-absorbed. Then when I run out of gas, I can't believe it. The delusion that I go into. I live in delusion when I'm running on empty. I'm truly delusional. Victim comes back. It's just not pretty. It's just not pretty. It's just not pretty.
Thank you, Marie. Jane?
Mhm.
When I'm running on empty, I feel like my legs weigh 1,000 pounds, trudging through each chore or appointment. When I'm running on empty, I look outward at my husband and family and see what they are not doing right. When I'm running on empty, I lose all ability to be helpful to others and sometimes cause harm because my pause button is unavailable and is the duct tape I need to cover my mouth to stop it from spilling out my every thought. When I'm running on empty, I am truly running. I'm not purposefully moving with intention or mindfulness or alignment. When I'm running on empty, everything feels bigger than it is. When I'm running on empty, I hit the wall eventually and come back to the one who has all power, grace, and mercy. And I am once again in a place of neutrality, safe and protected.
Thank you, Jane. Sharon?
When I'm running on empty, I have nothing to share with anyone else. My marriage, kids, church, granddaughter, sponsees, work, small group, on and on. I cannot pour out from an empty vessel. But it looks so heroic, so self sacrificing. My ego gets inflated when people say, "Oh, Sharon, how do you do it? You are so strong." Then I crash because how long can that last? There is an end, and it's not a pretty end. If I am being so strong, then where is God? I can also go another direction in running on empty and end up in a heap of self pity. Oh, I just can't do everything that is expected of me. It's just too much. Wah. I know from experience that I have started the ball rolling. I have caused you to need me, and then I get resentful because you need me. I know it's insanity.
Thank you. I hate that when you're reading, you can't see the heads that are nodding along because that's kind of the point in the reading. Melissa?
Smooth it. All right. When I'm running on empty, I become a sulky, entitled toddler, queen baby, if I'm honest. I start to look at when everyone else isn't doing for me to help me feel better. I become self pitying and filled with a woe is me attitude. See, I believe my thoughts so avidly that I start to make decisions based upon them. Nowhere has this been more true than in my marriage. I have been a demanding ass about things, totally convinced of my rightness, almost to the point of throwing it all away, only to suddenly see it's my emptiness that I'm responsible for. Wow. What a turning point. Learning what running on empty really feels like. Did I do that my whole life? Have I always been, hold on a minute. Have I always clamored to get my needs met through others, through outside stuff? Yes, that's exactly what I have always done. But now I know better where my limits are. I also am learning to be responsible for my inner world, and that means allowing trusted people access to the truth about me. The daily inventory is a great way to stay connected in that way. I cannot see through my own bullshit, so I have to make space for my people. People often don't call me because I'm so fucking busy, and that feels sad to me,
Mm,
but I can do something about my side of that.
mm,
Thank you. The reason I didn't even explain, the reason that we read is there are several of them. One is I think women need to practice using our voices because they're needed and important. Um, and too often we go, oh, somebody, it's okay. I don't want to make wave, whatever. I think we need to practice being courageous and using our voice. Um, I also, I love hearing what you read because I spend a lot of time alone. I have two speeds, surrounded by a gazillion people or all by myself. There's nothing in between. And so there's a lot of all Jennifer radio playing, and I can get so isolated that I don't realize that I'm having a universal experience until we begin to share. And I go, oh, I do that. Oh, that's me. And that sense of belonging I get, even if what we're talking about is throwed off, the fact that I'm not the only one who's throwed off makes me feel tremendously better. And then the third reason is this is a way that we share our own wisdom. There are things that get said in here that may mean very little to you, but may change my whole trajectory because sometimes you have the key to my lock. And so I love it when we share here and I walk away with that picture of the snowball that I'm preparing for a fight 2 months from now, because that's the kind of thing I do. And now I have new words to surround that. So it's very helpful to me. I write stuff in the margins that you guys say because it really does speak to my spirit. And I think we have a lot to teach each other. And so that's why we read. Plus, it's just fun seeing what other people said. All right. Maybe. Okay, how about you push it? Push it real good. Okay, what's one thing you're doing right now out of habit rather than intention? This is a question for you. Anybody got anything?
Eating.
mm.
Oh, yeah. Oh my God, all the time. That's
Scrolling.
Going,
so.
going,
Amazon.
Hmm? Go ahead.
Phones.
Amazon.
Oh,
going to my home group.
okay.
Scrolling.
Oh,
Mhm.
It's second scrolling. I've been doing a lot of that lately.
Mhm. Because I work from home, Jessica, that thing that you said about food, anytime I start writing something and I get stuck, I am teleported to the pantry. And I don't even recognize, like I've got a handful of carbohydrates and I don't even know where they came from. And that just seems to be my automatic. I mean, there is no thought. It's just this automatic thing where I'm up on the carb shelf looking for inspiration, apparently.
TV at night is the big one for me
Mm-hmm.
to have it.
Yeah. So what actually restores us? Real restoration doesn't always look like pedicures and massages. Sometimes it's running the errand alone. Sometimes it's baking your own bread. Honor the things that fill your cup. Recognize self-care as non-negotiable. That is so hard for us, but it is so important. Why we resist restoration. We've confused self-neglect with selflessness. Resentment is what happens when we keep driving with the empty light on. Taking care of yourself is not abandoning everyone else. Self-care is the prerequisite for showing up fully. Remember, awareness before action always. It can often feel like, because I start the slides with the heavy stuff and I always make sure I leave you on an up note. So this can feel kind of negative and heavy, but that it's by design that we're going to start with this awareness. We're going to start naming some things and becoming more aware. And it's not about changing anything right now. It's just, I want to look at where I'm not being intentional, where I'm not being true to myself, where I don't know, y'all probably have some sponsees too. I'm assuming all of us are in some secret organization. And I give out some of the most yummy direction that I should probably be incorporating myself. And I mean, I've got stories upon stories about how useful this information is. And then I look up and go, when was the last time you did that, sis? I mean,
Mm.
come on. And so, um, really, we're going to start with just this idea of awareness. And that's never about guilt or shame. It's just about, I truly believe God does the heavy lifting. I just have to be awake and aware enough to say, take it. And so that's why we always start with the awareness piece. This week's challenge, an energy audit. For 7 days, just notice. After each major interaction or obligation, ask yourself, restored, neutral, or drained? No fixing, don't change anything, just pay attention. Make a note to share with us next week. Does this activity restore me? Is it neutral or does it drain me? And this is the last prompt of the night. I feel most awake and alive when. On your mark, get set. Let's write. Finish your thoughts. Okay. Marianne.
I feel missed. Wait a minute. Yeah. Okay. I make sure I'm in the right spot. I feel missed, awake, and alive when I feel love. When I'm with those little boys, their joy, their gives me joy. I love them so much. Just makes me cry. It just makes me cry. When I'm with my dog, watching her and her little idiosyncrasies, oh God, she's precious. She's like talking to another human. Outdoors, the sun and the rain on our steel roof. That also makes me feel alive. Um, when I'm with people, complete strangers, I can walk in a store and there I am. All of a sudden, I have a new best friend, and people tell me everything, everything but their social security number. I don't know how that happens, but we share energy, mental, spiritual, emotional. Love makes me feel alive. I spent years running. I spent years running from my husband's family. Not that they're bad. I just don't want to spend every day with this ex-wife. And she just won't go away. So I figured out just be friends. Being present in the moment is how I get to feel alive. But when do I get to feel alive? I've been failing at this. And this journaling, what's this say? This journaling. Oh, like I did in the old days over 30 years ago. They had me journaling whenever I first came in. Oh, Sam Shoemaker, stand by the door. I get more done when I'm alive. Clutter is making me drained. I better get the shredder out. There's too much paperwork. Fear, the fear. I don't want to go back to that 9/11 thinking that just totally drains me. It's time for that trauma to go. Now that is really draining. Art projects, stained glass this weekend. Yippee! My passion is glass. Mosaics, glass fusion, cut and grind. I just love glass. And it all comes from sand. God is good.
Thank you, Marianne. Betsy?
I feel most awake and alive when I am living in alignment and not running on empty. I feel most awake and alive when I am physically, mentally, and spiritually grounded. When I am connected and or in connection with God and my core people. I feel most awake and alive when my mind is free of fear, worry, and shame. I feel most awake and alive when I'm drinking my first cup of coffee in complete silence, except for the birds. I feel most awake and alive when the sunlight of the Spirit is shining around me and through me. I feel most awake and alive when I am willing to acknowledge God's children as His children. When I step out of my own way to do the thing, whatever the thing is. When I am not living in my thoughts. I feel most awake and alive several hours after a good yoga class. But the place I feel most awake and alive is when I'm at the beach with my toes in the cool sand listening to the crashing waves. That's where I can really experience God.
Thank you. Marie?
I feel most awake and alive when I start my day with the morning pages, prayer and meditation, as I watch the sunrise. When I actually see the bounce in Peach's step when I walk her, because I'm not rushing her. It's actually beautiful. She teaches me to slow down. I feel most alive and awake when I trip truly look for God in everything in my day, in the people, in nature. I love hugging trees. I hugged a lot of them these last few weeks. Spent being alone, and I think awareness, a keen eye to see. I am most alive when with my grandchildren, I truly listen to them. I get down to their level and answer the questions. It's a twinkle in their eye. I just love it. Mikey and Luke and Will's eyes. I never looked at anybody's eyes, but I feel most alive when I do. I feel most awake and alive when I listen with my heart and not my ears. It's easy to listen with my ears, but my heart needs to remain open. It's a beautiful thing. Being in gratitude, not guiltitude. I love my life, my marriage. I feel most awake and alive being with a group of women who share the very same thing with each other. I feel most awake when I spend time alone writing. I love to write. I feel most alive when I can be who I am most of the most I feel most alive when I can be who I am, warts and all. And I know I have the warts and they don't bother me. My children, Bria, Paul, Lisa, and my adopted Kevin, being with them. I feel most alive and awake when I sit in the presence of the One. In meditation, alone and surrounded, I feel whole. I feel most awake watching the sponsors grow, and most awake when I know God is present. And He's always there, but when I am aware He's there.
Thank you, Marie. Jane?
Mhm.
Thank you. I feel most awake and alive when I'm sharing with someone the program of recovery and the spiritual awakenings I have been granted. I feel when I am fully present in my barn with my horses because they too are spiritual beings, so full of intuition and beauty, like myself. Ooh, that was a hard one to say as it feels conceited and self-serving, which must be bad. I feel most awake and alive when I get to travel to conferences full of like-minded people. I love people. I love to be in the places filled with such a vibration of love. It is exhilarating. When I when I take the time to look back and see the path laid out for me and how far I've come and how much I have grown, even just in the past few years. I feel most awake and alive when I can be fully present in my body, which has been a lifelong journey back to after years and years of dissociation and denying and hating my body. I am learning new things from I'm most awake and alive when I am learning new things from beautiful teachers that God has placed before me exactly when I needed them.
Thank you. Sharon?
I feel most awake and alive when I'm in nature, when I'm in my yard caring for the garden. And that's flowers, that is not vegetables. I feel awake and alive when I'm sitting across the table from a newcomer, when I am worshiping at church, and that is a dang miracle that I am so grateful for. I feel awake and alive when I'm spending intentional time with my husband, my kids, etc. It has to be intentional because my go-to is to be alone. I do feel awake and alive when I have the opportunity to spend time alone, turn the music up, and work outside without someone opening the back door and telling me that I'm crazy. I feel awake and alive when I see miracles happening in my life and in others, when I am in gratitude and I am aware of God's faithfulness. Oh, and my puppies, when I am cuddling with them and they look at me with eyes that love completely.
Thank you. Melissa?
Okay. I feel most awake and alive when I am fully connected to the moment, the now, and I'm with my people. My people is broad. It's my family, my closest friends, my AA sisters, my bicycle group. I prefer to be engaged in some activity together, but it could just be hanging by the pool. In situations like that, I feel present in my body and I can really laugh. I mean, belly laugh. I can notice the small details, the tones of color in a sunset, the curl in my son's smile, the bigness of Papa Duck. I feel most awake and alive when I am really taking care of myself, when I'm eating, sleeping, working, and exercising with better intention. I make room for people who matter most, and I am not overstepping, at least as often, into fixer mode. That one's dying slowly. Um, let's see. And then I said, that is unless I'm getting paid to do so, which is always helpful. I'm also not chasing things and people as much. Today on my bike ride, I noticed that it's really hard for me just to relax and take it easy. Um, I'm an alcoholic bicyclist. So I was pedaling like I was in the mini Tour de France, and I suddenly heard the little God voice nudge that said, "Hey, slow down and feel that wind." It was such a moment of joy. And in that moment, my whole body relaxed and my breath deepened and my thoughts loosened. Awake and alive is right now. Today, I really am feeling grateful. Even though today didn't exactly go as planned, but that's totally okay too. I feel awake and alive in green spaces and among my plants.
Excellent. Thank you. Jenny?
I feel most awake and alive when I'm in the moment and selfishly everything is going the way I want it. I'm not mad at anyone. I'm simply company or someone else's. I'm not thinking about starting a fire or freaking out about the one that I just started. I feel God using me to do his work. His light is just shining through me. When I am full of gratitude for all the big and small blessing he puts in my day. When I accept things just as they are, when I accept me just as I am, I have no need for control and have fully surrendered everything. When the channel is unblocked, so God is just flowing in.
Thanks, Jen. Karen?
I feel most awake and alive in the morning when I'm cooking, when I feel amazed that I got through something that I was afraid of, when I'm sponsored or sponsoring, when I had a really good workout. I feel most awake and alive when I've helped someone, and more so when I get out of the way and let them figure their stuff out. When I get hugged from a friend, I feel most awake and alive, wheels up or down on a trip, on a flight. I feel awake and alive when I laugh, especially with little kids. Also, when I've taught a meaningful yoga class. When I listen to music, like last night, I heard Sean Colvin and Alison Krauss sing The Boxer, and I was in tears. I was just awake and alive and loving every note. When I'm at the Telluride Bluegrass Festival, when I finished a hike that I did not want to go on, when I feel connected, I feel awake and alive. When I ask God for what's my purpose today, and it shows up. When I feel awake and alive, when my antenna is up to receive, when I'm on my Zoom meeting in the morning with my home group, when I feel accepted, when I've made a mistake, I notice it and I can correct my course. I really feel awake and alive. When I'm in Maui at my Kue morning meeting, and finally, when I get a new book at the library and I have anticipation of a good read.
Excellent. Thank you. Jessica?
I feel most awake and alive when the work is all done. When in the work, I see a kid's face light up in understanding, or I yell like a maniac because they are writing like champs, and I see their faces turn red, but the smile creeps in. When I champion others the way I should champion myself, I feel awake and alive at 3 p.m. on a Friday when I jump in the car, turn up the radio under the sunshine. When my bag is already packed, bicycle loaded, I'm on the way to the ocean or the airport or just climbing onto the back of the Harley for a loud, fast ride hit in the face with wind and tunes and bugs. I feel awake in the sky, working on learning to operate my little flying machine and kicking it with real pilots at the airport like I'm a part of the boys. When I'm laughing to the point of tears with my sister, and everyone is like, "What the fuck are y'all laughing at?" But we know it's nothing, but their asking makes us laugh harder because we're our own little secret society of hilarity, us against the world. And simply at home, I feel alive when I'm tinkering with shit in my garage, fixing something without needing a man, or pressing my fingers into the earth to birth some new greenery. I never realized until trying desperately to heal some egregious pain a few years back that growing plants is a spiritual experience for me. I'm good at succulents because they don't require a lot. The, the soil, the soil between my fingers is a direct connection with the flesh of God, a prayer transported, floating, eyes closed in the vast ocean, weightless and held only by above, salt water below, and sky above, and breath, all having disappeared except the soul of the universe.
God, that's gorgeous. Thank you. Lovey.
I feel most awake and alive when I'm surrounded by my husband and kids, but for short periods of time. My adult kids can drive me bonkers. Uh, but the initial start, I love the adrenaline. I'm an adrenaline junkie. I love the chaos of the unknown, roller coasters, bungee jumping, flight turbulence. I'm most alive exploring new places, new friendships, new ideas, books, and yes, even journaling. I'm most awake when I'm connected to God and caring for his kids. I love random anonymous acts of kindness. Unlike an arsonist, I don't hang around wanting to see the reaction. It's just the satisfaction of doing something nice for someone else without the expectation of reciprocity. I feel most awake and alive, leaning into the unknown despite the fear and uncertainty. I enjoy the physical, emotional, and spiritual challenge of connection as I truly am an introvert at heart. To be perfectly honest, a new pair of great shoes will also give me a surge of adrenaline, but it's fleeting and short. It's nothing compared to my 18-month-old grandson seeing me for the first time of the day, running up to me with a wide grin with an uppie.
Oh, that's good stuff. I feel it when I'm right sized, when I'm aware that I'm neither as wonderful nor as terrible as I think I am, when I'm clear on the fact that the world operates just fine without my opinions. I'm awake and alive when I'm open to joy because love is my operating system. I'm on fire when I'm doing new things or approaching old things in a new way. I'm free when I treat chores like a game, when I keep a playful attitude with my husband, when I remember to be grateful and make faces at babies. I feel awake and aware when I make it my mission to be the most cheerful person that strangers encounter, when I'm pouring into instead of sucking the life out of. The phrase that's surfacing is God's secret agent. When I'm on a mission for God, I have energy and peace. I'm fun and genuine. I'm happy to do the hard things. I'm aware that the sacrifice is always an investment in peace, goodwill, and gratitude. I'm awake and aware when I'm riding with these beautiful friends who inspire me. Thank you for sharing. And this is the last thought of the night. Just because you could be doing more does not mean you're not doing enough. See you next week. Right on. I sent you your prompts. I emailed them. You can use them every day. You cannot use them at all. This is your course to do with as you choose. Please don't turn journaling into a chore. I don't try and write every day. My goal is to write more days than not. Dolores does not know what that means, and it's very helpful because she can't enforce a rule she doesn't understand. And so I have no expectations of what you're supposed to do. You can write only with us. You can save your prompts for months or years from now, or you can throw them away. It does not matter to me, but I want you to have the opportunity to write if you choose to, and to practice using prompts, because I think it's another way that we surrender control and are open ourselves to a new experience. So it's completely up to you if and how you use those prompts. Thanks for showing up tonight. I will see you next week. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Love your guts.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
No,
you, everyone. That was
Good night,
amazing.
everyone.
Good night,
Good
everyone.
thank you.
night.
Thank
Bye,
you.
ladies.
So glad you were
Bye,
here.
guys.
Me too. Thank you.
Glad everybody was here.
Jennifer,
Yes.
I'm going to be in your area on April 22nd through the 26th. Is that the weekend you go to Knoxville?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Poop.
I know. I don't know if we're flying out on the 26th, but it looks like my kids' team is done on that Sunday. So,
I think you may get here before I leave. We'll double check it because
okay.
I might be able to hunt you down for a little bit.
Yeah, I fly in on a Wednesday.
Yeah, because I won't fly out until Friday.
Okay.
So we can make that work.
How far are you from Plano? You're in Plano.
I'm in
Wait a
Plano.
minute. You're in Plano. Sorry, I know you want to get off this call.
No, you're fine.
Um, Hold on, I'll tell you where I'm gonna be. Flex. Yeah. Well, I thought I was gonna be able to tell you where I was gonna be. Hold on a second. This soccer team is not always great at putting everything in this app right at first. Um,
I think it's
yeah,
Frisco. I think you're going to be really close.
I think I'm in Frisco. I
Yeah,
think
that's
you're
right
right.
down the road. My home group is in Frisco.
Oh, okay.
Though I
I was
haven't been
thinking they
there
were
in so
super
long, they
close.
probably don't remember me. Huh?
I was thinking they were super close to each other,
Yeah.
but okay, good. Well,
Yeah,
groovy.
I'll hunt you down. We'll figure something out.
All right. Well, I'll just buzz you closer to time. Or, I mean, I'll see you between then, but
All righty. Love your guts.
all right,
Have a
baby.
good one.
Love you too, babe. Bye.